Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. My name is Robert Bitto. This is episode number 50 of Entrepreneur Fundamentals, and I have probably about 200 or 300 more videos in me. These videos come from a whole long tradition of people coming up to me and asking me if they could take me to lunch and pick my brain for little tidbits of information. So most of these 50 videos that I've recorded so far have to do with information that I get frequently asked by people. So one of the biggest topics that you see in the entrepreneurial literature and also here on YouTube and in other venues is, what does it take to be successful? That seems like an obsession with people. Am I a success? When will I be successful? What is the measure of success? What are the secrets to success? All of that stuff. Well, I'll break it down for you really simply, and then I'll give you some examples about what I'm talking about, like I've done in most of my 50 videos so far. What is success? How do you define success? Is it $1 million in the bank by the time you're 30? Is it partying with Leonardo DiCaprio in the Hollywood Hills? Is it a Lamborghini in your rented mansion somewhere in Southern California? Well, it's really none of those things. It could be some of those things, but for most people, it's none of those things. How do you define success? Well, that's up to you. You are the one who defines success. It's not $30 million in the bank by the time you're 50. It's not such and such and such and such coming from outside, okay? It's what you decide success is. And I will give you some examples of what I mean by this, okay? I'll give you an example, first of all, of a successful person. It's a girl I knew in high school. Her name was Mary. And we were in health class together. We were 14. This was 9th grade, freshman year. And in the health class, we had a first aid and CPR unit. And the teacher said that if anybody wanted to go beyond the basic certification for CPR and for first aid, they were having a meeting or a group after class of people from the other health classes who wanted to be first aid and CPR certified by the Red Cross. And there were really no takers except for one girl in the class. Her name was Mary, and she raised her hand really quickly and she said she wanted to be Red Cross certified instead of just the basic certification that we were all getting in the class. And I sat there and I kind of wondered why someone would do that, and my friend Big Dave next to me made some off-the-cuff comments, and he said, well, you know, Mary doesn't play any sports, she's not in the honors program, you know, she's really a pretty average student, so she's just doing this to make herself feel special because she doesn't have anything else going on. It's amazing how bitter people can be at the age of 14. But anyway, being the curious person that I am and that I always have been, I went up to Mary and I asked her, why are you doing this extra work? Why are you staying after to get the Red Cross formal certification? And she looked at me and she said, just plainly, it's because I'm going to be a nurse and I need to know this stuff. Oh, okay. That was the answer. Well, at 14, Mary had a clear vision of how her life would unfold. Okay. At that age, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up, and Big Dave next to me didn't know either. And so let's look at what she said to me. She didn't say, oh, I'm thinking of becoming a nurse, or I might go to nursing school when I get out of high school. She said, I'm going to become a nurse. It was definite purpose. She knew exactly what she was going to do. And it's really funny. 30 years later, I reconnect with her on Facebook, and guess what? She's living the dream. That's what I said to her. Congratulations for living the dream. She has a nice family. She lives in a beautiful part of the United States, and she's doing exactly what she set out to do. So this girl who may not have been the best student, and she wasn't a cheerleader, and she wasn't in sports or anything, she knew what she wanted to do, and she went for it. She did it. That's your basic definition of success. Mary's a living example, and she's a living example that anybody can do it. You just have to have a vision of what you want to do, set goals, and have a plan to achieve those goals. And she did it. And so you could contrast that to another person I knew who kept hounding me because I was in my early 30s and I didn't have anything saved up for retirement. And I said, I'm on a different path. I'm an entrepreneur. At that time, it was the first few years of my retail store. And I said to her, I'm on a different path. I'm not even worried about that. I'm concentrating on other things. And she kept on saying every chance that she got that I should be investing money and saving up for retirement. And she was always worried about her future. And it was sad because she won the Pulitzer Prize when she was either in her late 20s or early 30s for photography. She was talented. She lived in a beautiful home. In Phoenix, she had an amazing vegetable garden. You can't grow anything in Phoenix, but this woman did. And it was amazing. But this woman was constantly unhappy. She never felt worthy of anything. She felt like she fell short of the mark. She was living in the past, dealing with childhood traumas. She told me stories about how her parents treated her, about how the girls in the softball team beat her up when she was in high school as a freshman. And, I remember all that stuff. And poor Angela, that was her name. She was, like I said, on all these medications, and it didn't seem like any of the medications were working. Anxiety, depression, all that stuff. And her medicine cabinet couldn't even hold all of the drugs she was taking. She had to use part of the pantry in her kitchen to have all of her medications. And poor Angela passed away at age 50. So she never got to even see retirement. And she was never happy. She was always miserable. And on paper, she had a great income, Pulitzer Prize winner, beautiful house, all that stuff. But would you call her a success? Maybe you would. But she was not happy. And she did a whole bunch of things in her life, and it was never enough. So you have to decide. And if you asked her to, she probably would say that she wasn't successful. But you have to decide what your definition of success is and go for it. I always mention my two examples, that these videos are for somebody who wants to open a taco shop or that furniture store in Iowa. Somebody who doesn't want to necessarily make $1 million. Making $1 million is not the sign of success necessarily. And I'll do another video on why it's okay not to be a millionaire. But what you decide is what success means for you. And only you. Only you can decide that. There are no external measures of success. I can go on and on about this, but I'll stop right here. Thank you so much for watching and for your comments and your suggestions. And here's to 50 more videos. And I hope all of this has been helpful to you. Until next time, remember to always work hard, and may all of your entrepreneurial dreams come true.